Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Yamet's here with Alway Forge, and we've got Sally over at Transcendental Artist Studios in the house. We are on the Blacksmiths Church stage in Discord. What up, Mr. Lonis in first, and then Trail Dust? Well, Trail Dust was lurking in the in Discord first. How you doing, Aaron? What's up, Bortgov? Shane Lalonde, Mick Chew, Hubcap, how do, brother? MTN Home Forge, how do? Bark, 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 bark. What's up, Aimless? We've got Drew in the audience of the church, and Aimless. Oh, Aimless just left. Probably because there's he doesn't know he has to mute the YouTube so that there's no cross chatter. Robert Whitney, Mr. Pekka, how do? Good morning. Robert, interesting discovery. Repair to a cat aluminum machine housing using aluminum brazing rods. No flux stuff works great. Cool. How do, everybody? So how's everybody doing today? Let's roll that in. Wait for the chat to fill up a little bit. I need to grab that, lift that up, transition, fade.
Morning, everybody. Thought I'd hop in and say hi, and we'll catch y'all next week.
All right, adios. That was a great show, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. That's our show.
Yeah. Wait. Let me check my wrinkles. So I will say this, just a little emptive thing, and I'll bring it up again later. Still don't have internet in my shop. I got some parts to try another fix, and haven't had time this week to do it. So I'll try and get that today. In case I don't, do I have anybody in the audience who would be interested in doing what we did last week, where you are on a video call with me in Discord, and I watch you forge and chew the fat with you. Hey, John Burnell, what's up, Dragonstone? Mr.
Hey,
Crawdaddy.
Morning, Daniel.
So that's kind of an open invitation to whoever would like to sit there and forge while I jaw at them this evening.
Yeah, if anybody wants, no, those are not, those are Austin's. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So if anybody wants to be the dancing monkey this week, feel free to hit up Yamez on any forum you can, and he can put you on. So
Yeah.
Just kind of like I did last week. He can scream at you, dance, monkey, dance.
Hey, Curtis.
You're not swinging that hammer fast enough.
Yeah, well, I'll bring it up again later in the show, but pretty much it's first derbs. I need to get some tea. But yeah, so what's up, Adam? Is this your on week or off week? Are you off this week or on this week? I can't.
This is his off week.
This is his off week. Lucky. Popping in to say hi. Heard. Hi. Now it's getting too warm in here. Let me just turn the man, it's been a rough week for me. Well, okay, I say that from my end. It's been a rough week.
Right.
Yeah, just for what I usually deal with and what I do and everything. It's just super busy. A little bit more stress than I'm used to dealing with on my end, and and yeah, just busy, busy, busy with work. Uh, Dug a trench that I had to use a pickaxe for. A little bit of changing in policies at work, and which is fine. Just the positive changes, but it's still anyway. So
Yeah, my week has been yeah, it's one of those weeks. I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, I talked to my buddy the other day on up in New Jersey, and he's like, "Well, you win the crappy week contest." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right?" So I'll just go ahead and dive right into my week. Uh, some of you may or may not know what I've been dealing with over the last 6 days, but some of you may not. So I guess on Monday afternoon last week, I lost my sister to suicide, and that's been a little bit rough. She didn't really have anybody. She was not the sanest person in the world, and she stopped taking her medication, and that did not work out well. For any of us really, and yeah, so I got the call. It just, yeah, it was messed up. I got my phone was dead and on the charger, and I didn't really care because I'm like, nobody needs to call me. I got nothing going on. I'm not working tonight. I'm not working tomorrow. So, I'll just, let my phone charge, and when it's done, I'll turn it back on. And I turned it back on to a message that I needed to call my dad. And, yeah, and then all of the following stuff that ensued. And yeah, so I jumped in. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I called the boss and I said, I don't know what you're going to do about night shift, but it's not me. I got to go. And I have been home ever since. Sleeping on a recliner at my mom's house because my house is 30 miles away, and it's just, I'm at 2 o'clock in the morning when we get done. I'm not ready to drive home. So I've been sitting here dealing with handling all of the final arrangements and all of that stuff, and we got all that handled, and the celebration of life thing that we did for her, and yeah, I mean that's been my week, is dealing with that. Yesterday was the last day of just about the last day of getting stuff done. Yesterday we cleaned out her apartment and divvied up all of her stuff, which, everybody got a little bit, and her daughter got the majority of it. They rented a U-Haul that we packed up, and that's going back to Wyoming with her. And yeah, so the only thing I have left to do is because I'm still at my mom's this morning. When I get home this morning, I've got to unload the stuff that my daughter got. My daughter got a bunch of the kitchen stuff, so I have to unload that stuff when I get home, and then I'm headed back to Midland. Yeah, that's been my work, and I mean my work. That's been my week, and hence the shall we say inspiration for the topic of the week, which is basically centering around being aware of your own mental health and the mental health of the people around you, because it's something that we as blacksmiths take for granted, because for the most part we're all dudes, and we don't talk about I'm sorry, we don't talk about shit. We don't talk about our feelings. We bottle it all up, and then we get in a certain spot and we go outside and we get something hot and we hit it with a hammer and we think that's all we need.
and
That's going to make everything better.
and with that,
And
like dude or not, if you're of the mindset of I can't really talk about this with anybody, uh, eventually you'll reach a breaking point. Whether it's like you snap and just you start yelling at everybody, or you personally break down and you lock yourself in a room and don't talk to anybody that you don't have to. I'm of the latter type. um, you know, with what's going on with Sully and with what's going on, like I coincidentally, I had a similar, not similar. That's uh, with my I have Asperger's and cyclothymatic disorder, as many as several of you know, and with that, I had this past week has been a major downshift for me, as far as my usual manic self, and it's like so where me and Sully usually talk a few times a week, for a couple of hours. I felt bad that I was just not in the headspace to chat with him. But yeah, it's Sully and I, the good thing about Sully is, in this instance, is Sully didn't need me to, he did, like, and he knew that if needed, I was here, you know, but
And sure, but I had really haven't had any contact with. I mean, like I talked to George once, and I think I chatted with you once, and of course I returned people's messages as best I could of thanking them for their condolences and well wishes and whatnot, because it is appreciated, and I'm one that's really awkward with that stuff because like even
me
when
too.
when somebody else experiences a loss, I don't know what to say,
Me
and I
neither.
feel awkward saying anything. And then and even dealing with it myself, it feels awkward. And I'm like, it just feels weird to be talking about it with somebody else.
And
And
and that's the thing. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't,
I
you
mean,
know.
I had so many people message me and say, "Hey, if you want to talk, I'm here." And it's like, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, like it
That's
because when I start talking about it, I start crying, and I don't want to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's good to grieve, and it's good to get the feelings out, but in small doses. I mean, it's I can't do it all at once, and so it's this has been a very different experience for me because this is the first member of my family to pass. I mean, like my grandparents are still alive and shit. So, I mean, we've none of us have ever had to deal with this before. I mean, this is the first time. I mean, which is fairly odd. I'm 46 years old, and
that
my
is
39-year-old sister is the first person we've lost. And so, I mean, my great grandparents were gone when I was, an infant. So, I mean, that's beyond my scope of memory. And so this has been a tough week for us all, but my family, we've had each other. I mean, my mom's house has got, no space, and we've had so many people here. Like there's just bodies everywhere, laying on the floor, laying on the hide couch, the spare bed. I mean, you just but I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing what my sister would have done. We're partying it up, we're drinking every night, and we're toasting her and having a great time. And today that all comes to an end as the Wyoming people load up in the truck and head back to Wyoming, and I head back to Midland. And
get back
yeah,
to
by midday it'll be just my mom and her husband here kicking it at the house, and we all have our time after that to kind of reflect on our own.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but
Hey, Mr. Coffee. Hey, Paul. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Mr. Orchard. Mr.
so
Maker.
and I don't recall quite how much I got out earlier, but talking about this kind of relating to the topic of the week is I feel like a lot of us feel like I do. Like I don't want to talk about it. I don't. It's just like I just I know I'm not feeling right, but I don't want to talk about it because that feels freaking weird.
Yeah,
But when I'm feeling like that, and I have somebody that I know that messages me and then they can immediately tell that something's off, and then they just pry it out of me. Uh, um, 30 minutes later, oh, I feel so much better. I'm just like, oh, I didn't think I wanted to talk about it, but then I did, and I feel awesome now. Thank you so much. And I get that at least once a month that I wind up in that situation where, you know, I just need to bounce my head off of somebody else, not like literally, but, bounce my mental thought processes off somebody else and get their input on it. And, whether I'm right or wrong, or whether my feelings are justified or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just, just getting that input from somebody else helps so much. And I had no idea. And I mean, like, hey, some of you guys may be lucky enough to have a therapist where you can go in and bounce these ideas off them every now and then, but some of us not so much, and we're reluctant to go that route. So if you don't have a therapist, and well, I mean, hell, even if you do, it doesn't matter. Um, but talk to if you don't hear from a friend that you talk to on a regular basis, you go, wow, I haven't that that's on, like kind of like Yama saying, we talk a couple times a week for, an hour or two
And
each time.
whether it's
Um,
about what's bothering us or about just what's been going on or what's,
right.
crypto, it's we talk.
And
Hey, I just wanted to
in
push
this
Gav.
particular instance, the reason we weren't really in communication was well known. But on any other week, if Yamas didn't know what's going on, he'd call me up and be like, "Hey man, hey, I ain't heard from you in a couple days.
Yeah,
Everything okay?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, just been busy or whatever." And so think about that with your fellow blacksmiths and your family, your friends. I mean, if somebody's seeming a little bit out of sorts, don't feel afraid to reach out.
yeah,
I mean, I know with my sister, we had a strained relationship for a while and we were just getting back in touch. We were just now reestablishing because we used to talk every day, every day. And and then my sister had what we call the shit hit the fan in Fort Worth a little over a year ago. And we didn't talk for a year. We just got back into contact in January, and we weren't talking every day, but a phone call once a week, and we'd text like every 2 or 3 days. And the last time I'd texted her was last Thursday, and not this last Thursday 3 days ago, obviously, but last Thursday before, and everything was fine. Just no worries, whatever, no indication, and by all accounts, there was no. I mean, it was just that this was her episode was a 5 minutes, like 1 minute, everything is fine. I'm cooking dinner. Come on over. It's almost ready. And then 5 minutes later, she was gone. And I mean, it was just like a snap of the fingers. And that can happen, man. I'm not going to say that can happen to anybody, but that can happen.
yeah,
And so, try. I know it's hard, but try not to be that gruff. Oh, we don't talk about feelings because whatever. I mean, because you never know when like for instance, I barbecued with my sister last month. Well, toward it wasn't last month. I guess it was the end of January. And I got a picture of us standing by the barbecue grill, whatever. If I'd have known that was the last picture I was ever going to get of her, I'd have maybe tried a little bit harder to make that picture a little bit better. But hindsight's 2020.
yeah,
And everybody here is like, well, if I'd have known that was the last time I was gonna, well, yeah, I mean, we all knew my sister was not the most stable person in the world, and we knew that someday we might be in this position. But it's never the right time. It's never been long enough. It's always too soon. It's always unexpected, and there's not really a lot you can do with that. I mean, my sister was the type of person that, even when she was in front of a mental health professional, she knew what to tell them that they wanted to hear so that they thought she was just fine.
yeah,
And she could lie her way through being and present as perfectly sane. And but we all knew better. We all knew she was batshit crazy.
yeah,
I mean, and we've all known for years that there's just nothing you can do about it because when you take her to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or when she goes, she just she would lie her butt off and be like, I have no idea what they're talking about. And a week later, she gets a clean bill of health, and it's like, oh, well, all right.
yeah,
So, and that can go for anybody else. You can tell people what they want to hear, but it's not going to do you any good. You know what I mean? So when somebody asks what's wrong and you say, nothing, I'm good, and you're not really good, that doesn't help you at
yeah,
all. It doesn't help them. So just be aware that, if somebody genuinely asks, hey man, you want to talk about it? Don't be afraid to just be like, yo, don't tell anybody, but this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm thinking about, whatever,
yeah. You don't have to be.
Um,
You don't have to tell. Shout it from the rooftops and let every single person know every bit of your business. But if you've got somebody in your life that you can talk to about shit, that's not gonna stuff. Sorry, hot mic. That's not gonna gossip about it. Utilize that. And all of this to say the top, what Sully's talking about specifically isn't the topic, but it's what inspired the topic. And I do not, in any way, shape, or form, want to, tell you, Sully, that you can't, don't, no, don't make this all about. But either we do or we don't. But
Right.
it brings up that important um, headspace subject that not everybody's always in the right headspace for whatever reason. You know, everybody has something going on in their lives, and as far as I know, each one of you also has stuff going on in their lives at different, not all the time, but that affects your headspace. And what we were talking about in the pre-show is sometimes blacksmithing is excellent therapy for that, but not always. Because sometimes it could, what's going on in your life could just screw you up to the point, man, I don't even want to get out to the shop. I don't even want to, I don't even feel the need. And then that could push you to even deeper, like, oh man. um, Came in for Headspace topic, though thought it's about workspace head clearance. Yeah, it kind of is making sure your head is clear so you can work. No, I'm funny, damn it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, not to say, I mean, Sully, go on by all means.
Yeah, no, and Matt, you're pretty spot on right there. She didn't want other people having to deal with her stuff, and she felt I know she did. She felt really alone because I'm not going to go into what happened in the when shit hit the fan in Fort Worth. But she had, when I were the fuck. Sorry, hot mic, but I can't
Yeah,
uh,
you're
stutter
fine today.
stutter. Um, uh, give me just a second.
Gather your thoughts. But
So anyways, she asked me later that evening after we barbecued and whatever. She asked me, hey, well, you believe me, right? And I told her, I was like, Virginia, it doesn't matter if I believe you or not. I believe that you believe you, and that's really all that matters. As like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you, yes, I do believe you. No, I don't believe you. Whatever. That doesn't matter. It's like you believe you, and and I believe that what you think happened, and or you know what I mean. So I didn't. I wasn't able to really reinforce her, shall we say, delusions, because I can't bring myself to do that. Like my mom could do that. My mom could be like, oh yeah, yeah, we totally believe you, and lie through her teeth. And I can't do that. I'm just not that kind of person. Which maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't know. But that's just who I am. And so she felt really alone, like she's the only person that sees what she sees, that knows what she knows. And so she had a really deep sense of aloneness because of that. And I don't know. I mean, like I wasn't the person that could fix that. And I knew that, and I told her that. And I told her, anyway, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
But the I don't know. That's go on for a minute. Let me
yeah. All
gather
right.
where I was trying to go with that, because I kind of got off kilter, because I didn't want this to be all about that situation. I wanted this to be more about
The headspace
us as yes,
as
us as
blacksmiths. Yeah,
people that tend to blacksmith as a form of therapy.
yeah. And there's a lot of
That
that.
maybe just heating and beating isn't all we need.
Yeah, that's Trail Dust says there's something soothing about beating the piss out of a piece of red hot steel. There absolutely is. There absolutely is. And sometimes to get through some stuff, it's good, right, and feels better and helps to shut your mind off, not think about it, and uh, clear your head and get into your shop. Sometimes you have to think about it, about things and what's going on in your life, and what you're gonna do to what you're gonna do or what your options are. Sometimes clearing your head creates an epiphany. And I feel that working in a shop is a great place to clear your head. But again, it falls to if you have somebody that you can confide in you know, like, hey, I got this is an issue. Um, I don't really want it known, but like, yeah, I got any, I just need to let it out. That's good. Robert Lennox says, here for you, Sully. If anything, this is a place just to be with like-minded people that are here for you. Oswan says, yeah, clear my head with talking to my girlfriend. My family is too conservative. And that's the thing, it's like sometimes it's, you'd think that family is who you can go to. Not always, you know. Um, I know a lot on the subject, fought with suicidal depression from an early age. It's complicated yet simple at the same time. Tried 3 times and nothing anyone could say was going to stop me. You got to stop yourself. At a certain point, you got to stop yourself. Creating something out of steel, conquering an element, makes me feel like I can do something. And that's a key clutch point for blacksmithing, is that when you feel like you have no control over anything, you take control in the shop, and that's where that therapeutic aspect of it comes in. Um, it's cool, Sully. You need an audience to vent to. We can listen and take the land. Yeah, yeah. The brain tumor diagnosis took me out of my forge. I've not hit steel in over a year. I'm starting to get the itch again. If you're able to, it might be able to take your mind off of things there, bushcraft. Uh,
Um,
but
I'll just say, Matthew, I feel you on that. I'm 0 for 3 myself, uh, a long time ago, and I have moved well beyond that now, and I'm in a very good spot as far as that goes. Because I have friends and I have people that understand me, and I have a support structure. So when I get a little bit out of sorts, I've got people that notice, and people that whether I want them to or not, intervene, and surprisingly, that means a whole lot to me. And like, I might be irritated as all get out when somebody calls me up and is like, "Hey, yo," and starts kind of like forcing themselves in. And then half an hour later, I'm like, oh, I'm so freaking glad we had this conversation, because I feel so much better. And I didn't used to have that. I didn't used to have the luxury of having somebody to talk to, or anybody that would even understand what the hell I was going through, because I knew nobody would understand, nobody would get it, that I'm the only one that feels this way. And now I'm just like, ah, I'm free, so to speak. I mean, but I mean, I still have to deal with grief and stuff like that on I would say, going to be recurring basis, but um, that's normal. And the stuff that I went through, back in the day, that was a completely different animal. Um, that I didn't know how to do anything about that. I didn't know how I didn't, I wasn't a blacksmith back then. I didn't get stuff hot and beat on it. I had no outlet for my, what would you say, feelings or mental thought processes. I just thought it's, because the time I grew up in is, you don't talk about that stuff. You
yeah,
just don't talk about it. And if you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist, and it'll just go away. We all know that shit doesn't work.
yeah.
So not talking about it doesn't help. So I wish I wish I could say, if you guys need to talk to somebody, just hit them up and talk to them. But I know none of y'all are going to do that, because I wouldn't do it either. So what I am going to ask is, be that person for somebody else. So when you see somebody else is looking a bit off, hit them up in a private conversation. Not necessarily, if you're in with a bunch of people in a group chat, don't necessarily hit them up in the group chat, but
'Cause that puts their back against the
send a
wall.
message them and be like, "Hey man, you want to, I've been noticing this, I've been noticing that, you want to chit chat about it?" Because we're not gonna, I mean, I can say without fail, 99% of us are not going to reach out to somebody when we need help. So we need to be that person that can reach out to them when they need help. And so just be cognizant of the people around you, your fellow blacksmiths, hell, your family, your friends, anybody. And when they're acting a bit off, or they're seeming a bit down, I'll offer them some support. And remember, try not to try not to be the person that has to one up their story, you know.
Yeah.
Let them tell their story and sympathize with them, but don't be the, because I know I do have people that are like, well, that's nothing, this one time I da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, and it's like,
And
dude, I don't really care about, you know, I don't really care about the time you rip the fender off your truck. That's not the same thing.
yeah, and if I may though too, like because I get that from people a lot that they think that I'm one upping them in stories, and because you
And I'm
know,
bad about it myself, but
yeah, and some people do it. Some people are mistaking, doing it without realizing it. And some people, uh, okay, me for example, when I'm talking with somebody and they're bringing up something they're going through, and I bring up something similar that I've gone through, it isn't a one up. It isn't in any way, shape, or form that. It's to let them know, hey, I get you. I've been in similar situations. Exactly, Robert. It's not a competition. It's just hey,
right. And
I'm here. I'm listening, and I do understand. And here's
well,
why.
with me working in the oil field, I mean, we got stories, and like so when as rig movers or whatever, when we get together around a campfire at somebody's house for a barbecue or whatever, or not in a campfire, but around a fire, barbecuing at somebody's house or whatever, we tell stories of the coolest and most horrible stuff we've seen, and it is a one-up competition. It's like, oh, that's nothing, man. This one time I pulled up on location and there was a mile of pipe coming out of the ground and it was breaking off like spaghetti 300 feet up in the air and just falling all over the place. It's like,
Well,
damn,
there's a
I
time
ain't
and a
never seen
place
it.
for
Right, right, right.
one-upmanship, in
In
anecdotes.
in that instance, that's where like somebody like me, we get this habit of one-upping stories because that's, yeah, I mean, that's the fun stuff. I mean, like what, because everybody wants to tell a better story when it comes to a situation like that. And I didn't realize that I was applying that to just about every situation in my life until somebody pointed it out, and I was like, so now I make a conscious effort. Like when you were talking about that, you're showing that that you've been in a similar situation. I make it a conscious effort now when I try to relate to somebody like that. I make it a conscious effort to one down, so that the story that I tell or the point that I try to get across is less significant than what they're going through,
Less
so that I
detailed.
so that I don't come across as trying one-upmanship, and that I come across more as I can understand what you're going through, and if you want to talk about it, I'm here to listen.
Exactly.
And for me, as a person that tends to talk way too much, I don't know. I think I feel like listening is hard, but I've had people at work because I wind up being the ear that everybody bounces their problems off of at work. And people are like, oh man, you're such a good listener. Hey, you're such a good listener. I feel so much better. And I'm like, really? I think I'm a crappy listener, but hey, if you feel better, cool. And I like being that person for the people that I work with, because you know, it kind of makes me feel good to be able to help them out in a situation, and try to give them, because I'm, I say, hey, look, I'm not a therapist and I'm not going to tell you what you need to do, but I can tell you need to figure out what you need to do,
Yeah.
and these are the options you need to weigh, and you need to figure it out yourself. I don't ever tell anybody what they need to do, and because a lot of our for the situations that we wind up in with my work people is we all are so shall we say displaced workers. None of us, we all live at the yard, or not live there, we stay at the yard, but we all live somewhere else. Like all the people I work with, we're from all over the country. And so some people have a 14-hour drive to go home. Some people live an hour away, like me. But we're all displaced, and that can be stressful on relationships and marriages. And so a lot of people wind up with marital problems because they work away from home. And some relationships thrive in that situation, and some do not. And I am the last person that anybody should ask for marital advice, because I miserably failed twice in that regard.
Same here.
But
Once.
I've got four beautiful children that I love dearly out of that, and I
Mhm.
don't regret a bit of it. And but
Hey,
I
Roy.
so I tell people, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you need to figure out what your priorities are, and start there. What's more important, your job or your family or paying the bills or, whatever. I mean, you got to figure that out for yourself. I can't figure it out for you, but I can kind of direct them instead of like trying to blame it all on somebody else that, oh, she's just being a witch or, something like that. No, 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 no. Come on. I mean,
Yeah.
because
Well, um,
take some responsibility for the situation you're in and figure out how you're going to fix it. And a lot of that is just in talking to somebody else. And you're
yeah.
not going to get anywhere just by bottling it up and not talking to anybody. And and we were talking about earlier in the in the pre-show how sometimes people need that particular headspace to be creative.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that
I'll
it's
let you expand on that.
well. Firstly, I'll say, hey Wayne, hi Eric, bye Eric. Um, what's up, Michael Robinson? Hi, do Roy. Um, but yeah, some blacksmithing in this day and age is a very creative process. It's like it's an artist blacksmith is an artist who uses metal as a medium. You know, and as almost everybody knows, it's like there are several prominent artists in history that have used their negative headspace, depressions, anxieties, etc., as fuel for their art, as inspiration. Like most notable would be Edgar Allan Poe, and it's like if being in that sort of a headspace is where you thrive creatively, that's where, you know, getting out and beating on the anvil to kind of push out any excess aggression or clear your head from, negative thoughts. It's like if you're most creative when you're trying to clear your headspace, use it. Hey, John Bernal. Yeah, Vincent van Gogh. Roy up with the no flux needed. Yeah. So it's like headspace is, whether it's positive, negative, or even, anything in between. It's a very important aspect to blacksmithing, to the creative process. Sure, there's things, things like along the lines of writer's block, a creative block where, you have that feel that I need to be out in the shop doing something, but I can't think of anything to do. For me, that's when I'm most manic, and like, it's like I am ready to get out there and do stuff. And then I get out there and it's like I start doing something and I start doing something else and I start doing something else. I am most productive when I am either on the up or downswing from some sort of a mood or a headspace that Picasso. Like where it's that perfect blend of creative and and productive, where I can get out there and I'm not manic enough to be bouncing off the walls, yet I'm not depressed enough where I just don't get off my couch. Yeah. Flux ruins Roy's headspace. Flux trying to, Flux. Roy's trying to cheer everybody up with jokes. He's got jokes. And that's another thing. It's like I have a comedic mind for the most part. So it's like I'm one to laugh off problems and people would think that is not taking them seriously, but it's how I deal with issues is I crack jokes. I crack jokes. I have no idea where Picasso's head was. Yeah, nobody does. Roy popped in. I should have said, speaking of not right in the head. No, Roy's got a good solid mentality there. We don't know what goes on in the background. but Roy presents himself as somebody who uh, is good, has it all figured out. It just makes everybody else look bad when they try to smash metal together. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, I'm trying to keep an eye on the Discord as well. Uh, but yeah, all of that, all of this, the headspace topic again, bringing into the blacksmithing topic is, don't let anything. I only scream on the inside. Don't let anything stifle your creativity, and at the same time, if don't don't let any sort of depression or negative headspace that keeps you out of the shop, don't let that drive you further into, oh man, I can't get anything done. It only feeds the cycle, and it's hard to say or to accept saying, oh yeah, just you're feeling bad, just don't feel bad about it. Sometimes it just happens, but like if there could be a voice in the back of your mind going, oh yeah, it's like you know, I'm not, yeah, I can't get anything done because I'm not in the right headspace, and oh man, that just sucks. If you can have a voice in the back of your mind going, no, no, it's all right, push through, and come out stronger on the other side.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. Hey, Rob. Yeah. Don't be so. You're hardest on yourself. Had a rough year, but I've kept my head in the game, and it's brought me to a new revolution in my life. I'm happier now, wiser, and a better place. We've all had rough years, exactly. I mean, in that non-competitive, like most of you guys know what I've been through in the past, what year is it? Yeah, about 5 years in my life, 6 years in my life. Um, it's like I know what a fugue state is. I know what it's like to look down and then look up, and holy cow, 4 months have gone by. Yeah,
Right.
it's like you just power through, and it's you just know that the community's there for you. But
Right. Right.
when you come back, the community will be there for you. You know, uh, I know that when I was going through my it was before I got into blacksmithing, before I knew that there was a blacksmith community. I had literally lost any sense of community that I had had. So yeah, it was. I picked up blacksmithing as something to fall back on. you know, around good Roy rant is like a pressure release valve. Absolutely, you know, got to learn to take bad happenings and turn them into good things. That, or accept that bad happens. Accept that bad happens. You deal with it, and once you're done dealing with that, then you set that aside on a shelf and go, okay, next chapter. Moving on. It's like you deal with it.
And I would just like to say I apologize for bringing the show down this week, but
it's important.
as we prefer this to be fun and games and positivity and jokes and all that, but I felt it was important at least once to touch on the fact that we all care about you guys. We
Yeah,
really do, and if
absolutely. I
and
know.
it's like I said earlier, just a few minutes ago. It's okay not to be okay, and recognize when that's going on.
Hmm.
So I don't mean to bring everybody down and
Yeah,
have a crappy show, but it was a topical conversation for the week, and
I mean,
yeah,
and like I said, it kind of was, as soon as you mentioned that last night about the topic for the day, it was like, you know, uh, real talk. I had one of those. Yeah, jelly beans are good any time of the day. um, I had one of those kinds of weeks myself where it was just like total downshift. And it was like, you know what, topical not just for Sully, but also for me, and possibly for some of you guys. Who knows? Again, it goes into what we said earlier. You don't know if somebody's having an uptime or downtime, like, because we don't talk about it, you know. I have them, fairly regularly to the point where you could almost, mark it on a calendar. But I push past it and nobody, mostly nobody knows because I've been dealing with it my entire life. I know what I need to be doing and what level of inactivity I can allow myself, if that makes any sense. It's like I know that, okay, if I am a couch potato for more than 3 days in a row, I need to work on snapping out of it. But yeah, I mean, it's like I'm good now, legit. It's like after the show here, I'm gonna get out to the shop and grab some Ethernet cable and splice me up a new patch cord, and try and get my internet back in the shop. Which brings up again, now that I have more people here, a different group of people here. Roy, I'll get to that in a second. You might actually. So there's a strong chance that my fix today is not going to fix my internet. It's everything that I've been trying has been proving an exercise in futility. If there is anybody out there who is interested or would like to help out this evening's show by being, forging on Discord and me hosting and whatnot, that would be a huge help. I hear predator breathing. Somebody's mowing the lawn. But yeah, so I'm going to attempt again to fix my internet today, and if it doesn't work, then it's going to be a couch show. And if I have somebody forging on the Discord, that would be fantastic. So anybody who'd like to volunteer, it is open call. Like Yam said, this is everyone's show, so if this is what you need, then this is what you will get. Yep. Pro tip.
I'd like to volunteer Rob Garman for Blacksmith of the Week.
Yeah. Pro tip for changing your mental state. Change your activity of your mental condition. Yeah. Get up and force yourself to do something. Yeah. It's not down. It's a discussion that needs to happen from time to time. Everybody knows it happens, and not just to them. Absolutely, Paul. The problem is I've lost all my friends to old age or a drug that's spelled with 4 letters. If it wasn't for my wife, well, ... Yep. As Red Green says, we're all in this together. Stopping to smell the roses does have some advantages. I hear predator breathing. Exactly.
And Roy makes a good point there. Depression is a self-feeding cycle, and that's right, because once you start down a rabbit hole, you don't just pop right back out, right? I mean, you have to work at it to dig yourself back up to the surface. It doesn't just usually just happen on its own, and if you just let it go, it's not going to get better all by itself. So.
Yeah. Well, that's where what I do works for me because of the way. Okay, so, and I think I've put it in a video before. I know I've spoken about it here and there. Morning Athol, but like I suffer from 2 major mental things: Asperger's and cyclothymatic disorder. Cyclothymatic disorder is closely related to bipolar, where bipolar bipolar is like very quick mood swings and such, in a nutshell, like in a psychological nutshell. Cyclothymatic is it's similar swings but cycles, and it's like I know from experience that if I am in a downshift, I'll hit that bottom, and then it will start to go back up. I know that, like, I could wake up one morning and just be fine, totally over it, and that nothing in my life is what is feeding it, causing it, or anything. I just know that, just ride that couch for a minute, and then I'll be back in the shop. I'll be back, you know, back to being manic. Like I'm on the uptick right now, so it's like I'm not quite manic, but I'm this is that productive phase right now.
Yep.
So
Oh, thank you.
so it's like, yeah, I could embrace it and ride, like I say, what I call ride the couch, which is, I pretty much stay on this couch. And I get up and I go to work, and I come home and I sit here and I chat with people, or watch a movie or play a game or something, and then I just right back, get out to the shop and kind of kick things around and look at things and go, why? What's up, Dana?
I want to tell a little story here. So, sometimes the dumbest thing can just make you feel great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like yesterday. Yesterday was cleaning out my sister's apartment day, right? And nobody's looking forward to this. I mean, it's tough, right? And we've already been in there, and we've already kind of separated everything out into piles and what have you. And there's underneath on the downstairs, there's like a little storage unit, and it's got a lock on it and all that, and we don't have the key to it. And so my mom's like, well, I don't know what we're gonna do. Do you have some bolt cutters? I was like, no, I'll just see if I can pick it, and it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Well, we get over there, and I was there first, and I mean, like, I was there first, and I don't have the keys, so I'm there first by like an hour, and it's hot, and I'm just sitting outside in the driveway. There's no shade, and I'm just like, this sucks. And the air conditioner in my truck only works if I'm moving. So I can't just even like sit in the truck and stay cooled off because I'm sitting in the driveway. And so I'm just like, just kind of not looking forward to the day and all this. And I was like, well, let me give a shot on this lock right quick, so I go over and I see it's a master lock number 5, so I YouTube that, and the guy's like, oh yeah, I just stick a city rake in here and bam, look, it just opens up right away. And I was like, for me, I mean, like, that's going to take 5 to 30 minutes, so I go over there, put my turning tool in, slide the city rake in, and the lock just popped right open. I was like, less than 10 seconds, how about that? I mean, and it just kind of made me smile, and put me in a pretty good spot for the most of the remainder of the day. I mean, just that little bitty thing that lock popped that quick, and I was just like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Right on, and I mean, and I was good up until like I was telling you earlier, when I went to pull that last box out. But up until then, I was pretty much, I had everything under control, and it wasn't like I was stifling anything. I was just like genuinely like, okay, this is what we need to do. And no problem. And I the only thing I can think of is like it. That's really what kind of put me in the right kind of headspace, was just having that one little neat good thing happen. First shot right out of the box, and I was just like, it's going to be a great day.
For me, it's similar. It's in electrical, we have something called fishing, where you're running a line through a wall blindly or through a ceiling blindly, and it's something that could take 10 seconds or could take, all day, and you go, all right, screw this, we're cutting the wall open.
Right.
And it's like, we've had several days where it's like, we've just been boom, 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 where we got like 8 lines to run through the wall, and it's every single one. I've taken a 4.5 foot push rod, and we have a 48-inch drill bit, and then these push rods with hooks on them, and they're fiberglass push rods, and this 48-inch flexible drill bit. Okay, I was working in a house that was built in like the 1700s, early 1700s, and we gotta drill through the. I gotta drill blindly through the wall, a box hole here and a box hole, 6-7 foot away, to put the next outlet, and drill through, kind of guiding it with pressure so it stays, in the center of the bay, or the center of the studs. Drill through, all right, and then leave that on there, and then grab another one and drill through, and then I hear it tick, 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 and I know that the two drill bits are kind of docking, they're touching. and and it's like, all right, so I know that the holes are lined up. Pull the drill bits out and take the fish rods, stick one in one end, stick the other in the other end, and then boom, you feel you tap it against the stud, and you go, okay, there's the next hole, and you tap it, okay, there's the next hole, and then all of a sudden you see the other one shake, and you okay, oh wow, I got it. That's something that could take an hour to get. You're just struggling, fighting. Oh, it's just because you're working blind. And we had a day where we had like every single one went. It was like push in. All right, boop, we're hooked. All right, attach wire, pull. It's like whoa. So yeah, small wins. Like you hold on to those. Hey Xavier, what's up? We're talking Headspace. We had a long topic this early on about negative headspace and kind of I think shifting towards positive headspace.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
I mean, that was kind of the idea.
yeah, I like that lamp there, Mr. Burnell. I've always wanted to make one. Tong lamps, tong candle holders and such. Be well, Wayne. Everybody thought that it was talking about storage. No, we're talking about mental not capabilities. Uh, Finding simple joys such as Fruit Loops flavored jelly beans.
Right?
Um, so, Granddads, Sobert nominated you to be the Forge, the blacksmith this evening. Are you able to hop on Discord and be the blacksmith this evening? Or Roy, or Wayne, or John, or Paul Fontanini? I think it'd be cool to have Paul Fontanini just set up his camera and work on one of his sculptures. Congratulations, by the way. Talk about Headspace. Paul Fontanini won an award for one of his recent sculptures. Wow. Congratulations. Oh,
Rob said sure.
all right. All right, Rob, make sure you got your, you can even do it on your phone camera. Your phone camera set up, and we'll get a call going later today for Discord. If I do not get my internet working today, and history tells me I'm going to have to replace the cord going to the shop, which sucks. You know. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, give me just a second. Let me come on, hold on. God dang it. Discord, where you at?
I'm right here.
Yeah. I know. Hold on. I gotta handle something right quick. I'm gonna mute my mic.
You do it. But yeah.
Carry on.
Uh-huh. Carrying on. So yeah, Xavier, haha, I know, right? That was me yesterday, and I did hand sanding, and somehow every tool was on the floor again, right? Oh, cleaning the shop. um, yeah, I need to spend a day reorganizing, cleaning. I just it's all that headspace. I'm just not in the frame of mind to be productive out there cleaning. I have so many things to do. I haven't even started.
And I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I haven't even
Okay.
started on a sculpture for Quad State yet. Looks like it'll be the jellyfish again. And if I don't win this time, man. But yeah. Building a new shop in a month or two. There you go. Something to look forward to. Absolutely. need a week-long course on live streaming first. Well, here's for future knowledge, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this internet situation fixed and figured out. So there might be several options. And how this goes, you're less live streaming, and it's more on a video call with me here in Discord, where you basically just have, a video call set up, and then I do the streaming,
Right. It's fairly simple and easy. I mean, yeah, it's just a Discord video call, and you don't have to have anything special or nothing.
Yeah.
Because for me, even as a manager of Island Metal Forge, I can do just about anything, but I still can't go live from my phone as Island Metal Forge because I don't have the subscriber base to do it. I could do it from my computer. I could go live as Island Metal Forge, but I can't do it from my phone because I'm still me. And so this way here, by going through Discord, it's not really an end around, but it does make things go a little bit easier, as
On
far
the
as trying to
blacksmith
set
side,
up.
on
I
the
mean,
forgers end, yeah.
I just throw my phone up and be like, here we go, let's go. It's just from my end, it's just a video call.
And then I control everything on the back end. I'm the producer
Right.
at that point.
Right. And it's actually kind of nice being able to just sit there and forge, have some headphones in, and be able to have the chat narrated and things like that. That was a lot of fun. I didn't have to spend any, well,
Almost any
I didn't
setup
have to.
time.
I didn't have to spend any time really, like reading the chat and catching up while during heats. Like walk over to the phone and like scroll through the chat to see what's going on. Didn't have to do any of that because it was already going, and as a due to that, I mean, I kind of I was pretty worn out by the time that 2 hours was up, but
Yeah.
because I was steadily getting her the whole time.
Did you watch that whole stream, by the way?
I did watch it back. Yeah.
Did you see where I put the Moabo over your head for a bit?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was great.
Brings up Paul Orchard brings up a good point. We've had a few Discord joins, and we talked about Discord, I brought up the Discord link in Roy's chat for a bit the other night. Man, Roy with the pictures. Yep. Headspace could be as simple as being out in nature. And in Discord, there is a section called Discord Use Discussions. I don't know what the turtle shell thing is. But pretty much what this is if you have questions on how to use Discord, you can post them there. I have yet to actually see anybody use it, but Discord's it's only as complicated as you let yourself think it is. Once you join Discord, you create your little profile that you have and copy, and you can just create your profile and then join the Forge chat, and then boom, I believe that when you first join, there is rules that like a button like that you accept the rules or whatever, and that changes your username from white to green. Once your username is green, that's when you can really, really participate a lot. And we have all sorts of categories, and pretty much you just, let's go Blacksmiths Corner. Getting started. Okay. All right. So that's, questions you can ask how to get started and whatnot. General forging questions, blacksmith tutorials. This would be where to post PDFs and videos for, tutorials on things. I think Roy's videos would probably require their own dang, just put a link to Roy's channel, pin it.
Right.
And we've got everything: art and sculpture, fabrication, blades, tools, community projects, the YouTube lounge, community chat, which is where we host this, and then archive stuff. but yeah, you just select a select a category and read through the questions or type your question or discuss with people, and it's just like a real time discussion. You know, but yeah. Hey Keith.
And it's a great resource as well because for the most part, a lot of us, we get the notifications or whatever. So you throw a question up in there, and we get a notification on our phone and be like, oh, let me go check that out right quick.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
not everybody,
and
but
as more people are in it and you use it, the more you'll get a closer to instant response to your question. You know, we don't really advertise the heck out of it, but I mean, it is so useful. You know, and yeah, adios, aimless. Um, but yeah, so it's like it's just as far I've downloaded Discord, but as far as I can get. Yeah. It's been a while since I've done like a new account on it, so I'm not quite sure the process anymore. But plus, there's been updates. Um, but yeah, as far as I know, if you've downloaded Discord, let me. You probably lost the invite. I'll copy this, paste, send it. That's the Discord link. You know, and if you've got it, click on that, and it ought to bring you to the Forge chat, and say welcome to the Forge chat and all that stuff, and there's even a notification every time somebody joins. It pops in right here, and yeah. Been tobacco free 15 years and I still miss it. Yep, me too. I'm smoking right now, planning my next cigarette. Hey, Steven. But yeah, that hope that helps, and once you get in and get a little used to it, you can learn more about it and everything. It's not too difficult. Um, but yeah, I mean, with that, we've kind of run our course for the show.
yeah, I think we're down to the nuts and bolts, and about time to wrap it up.
Yeah, let me. There's a little. All I have from. Uh, Hold on, I got it here. I got to find it, but I got it. Hang on. Opening mail. So, yeah, let's do final thoughts. I suppose. Do you have any final thoughts there, Tolbert?
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, if you're not feeling up to it, you know, talk to somebody. If you're just not right there, try to talk to somebody. And if you know somebody that's not, doesn't seem quite like they're being them usual selves, give them a holler, touch base with them. You never know when just having a little bitty, completely unrelated conversation about this, that, and the other, the weather or anything else can just pick up somebody's day. So keeping that in mind, get out to your shop, put on your PPE, um, and create. And the most important thing is have fun while you're doing it. And that's what I got for this week.
Yeah. I was trying to pull up. I was trying to pull up the Adam Flewell Smith recording, but I don't have it. um, but yeah, me, it's know yourself and know when you need to talk to somebody. reach out to those who, like, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody and say, hey, everything all right? You know, and, you know, really, yeah, just get out and create for the sake of creating. I don't really have much of a thought that I haven't already said. Yeah, Stephen, guys can talk about their feelings. Um, but anyway, you can find. Let me try and memorize or do this by memory. This Speargrass has spoiled us with his awesome outros. You can find me here at Island Metal Forge, and just Google Island Metal Forge, and you'll find my Instagram, my YouTube, you're on my YouTube. You know where to find me. You can find Sully over at Transcendental Artist Studios on all the YouTube stuff, and etc. etc. But
Yeah, you can find me at Transcendental Artist Studios on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I think that's it.
yeah, yeah. I was trying to think. I didn't want to say something that you didn't have.
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
if you got any ideas for things we ought to discuss, drop it in the middle of the week section on the Discord server,
Tinder.
or even email it to Yamez at islandmetalforge@gmail.com. And we will throw it in the lineup and get it under consideration. This week was a little bit of a pause of our normal rotation, but we'll get back into it next week with regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I totally should have tried to do that in an Australian accent, but I'm sure I would have butchered it.
I completely blanked on everything Final Thought wise because I was looking for the audio clip. So like my brain was in search mode and I completely forgot everything.
Right. You should already had the audio clip ready to go, right?
It's not in my email anymore. I don't know where it's at.
Ah.
So I don't know where it went. But yep, you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you guys later. Rob, I'll try to get a hold of you. Granddads, I'll try to get a hold of you for doing the show later tonight, and we'll see how that all goes. Peace, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.